podcast called Jellison Podcast.
First ever type 1 diabetic in UFC history.
Doing fine, nice to be with you.
Get out!
He's like, yeah. My tunnel vision and my periphery, I'm like all field.
Hey, you know how it is, though. Hey, when your team.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
What's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of the Jellison Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Tayler Persons. Tayler, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Thank you for having me on here. I'm excited to talk with you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
I know recently, first, I want to say congratulations on becoming a father recently. A month ago to a baby boy. So how's dad life been treating you?
It's been amazing. It's the biggest blessing in my life. I never understood how much you could love something, so small, and it's just a different kind of love seeing my boy for the first time. My wife had him when I was in Poland this year, which was kind of tough for me, but just seeing him when I got off the plane was just, the best feeling of my life. It's been amazing. I love it. I love being a dad.
Mm-hmm. A few people that I know have had children recently, and they said that their mindset kind of changed. Did you find that too?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like you have to take care of another human being. I mean, I'm married, so I obviously have to take care of my wife, but when you understand what a baby, they need you to do everything. Change your feed them, change their diaper, give them a bath. It's just a different type of love, like I said. So definitely had to mature a little bit, to be honest. And I think that comes with being a parent. So.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned you were over in Poland when your wife had your baby. So what was that process like? I saw on Instagram you kind of mutually terminated your contract. I know it's kind of different over there. So what was that process like?
Yeah, it was. We were out of the playoffs. Tension. We only had a couple games left, and they just thought. I mean, I wanted to be home as quick as I could to see my baby and stuff like that. So they kind of, let me leave a little early. I only missed the last game, which then both teams weren't playing for playoffs. So essentially it wasn't meaning anything, but I have nothing but good things about there. They let me leave and go home. So it was good to, be home early. So it was, but it's like you said, it's different over there. It's a lot different than being over here and certain stuff. So I got lucky that they allowed me.
Mm-hmm. I recently had Malcolm Hill on the podcast, and he was talking about how everything's kind of more cutthroat over there. If you're not performing, then 10 games, you're done.
Yeah, that's a perfect word. It is cutthroat over there. It's not for the weak-hearted. A lot of people think when you go as an American, you go over there, I'm just going to average 20, dominate the game. It's just not the case. It's people get a rude awakening going over there for their first years. And I feel like that's why a lot of people come back so quick. Because, like you said, it's cutthroat. You don't play good first 10 games, and as being an American import, they want to look for something else. So, their job's on the line too, and you have to look at it as a business. And I figured that out this year, the business side of it. So I'm just fortunate that, I had a good opportunity in 2 leagues to show what I can do and move forward. I think I'm going to be in good shape. But, yeah, it's cutthroat. That's, it ain't for soft people to go over there and play for sure.
So what are the next steps now? Obviously, you're going to be home for a while just because it's the off season. But are you looking forward to signing with a new team here shortly, or?
Yeah, whatever my agent thinks. I'm just grinding right now. I'm just grinding, every day, trying to get better. Really trying to take it up a notch. Like you said, motivation. I don't think I've ever tapped into, and just been, I've been working my butt off since I got back and just doing, everything I can. But that's just what I got to do, The opportunity is going to come, and I believe that God will put the right situation in my hands, and I'm going to take advantage of it and be ready. That's all I can do. And I've been watching, I've been trying to watch more Kobe, Bryant stuff, and his mentality is what I'm trying to get. Because I tell everyone's like, hey, you don't take a break when I get back. Overseas is a long season, and we practice twice. Some teams are practicing twice a day. We did every day, and it's a lot. Throughout the whole year. But I see all these young players in my gym. I train with my competitive greatness on Instagram. It's Tayler Mayer. He went to IU, not Purdue, but he does a good job getting players in and working us out. But I see all these young kids in high school working out, just as much as I am, and this is what I get paid for. For a living in college, guys. So I'm looking at it I can't let these guys get a leg up on me or even try to catch up to me. So Just really trying to, be great. And I know next year I'm not really too worried about it right now, kind of focusing on my game and being with my family. But I know something's going to come soon, and I just let my agent handle it right now. So it's a waiting game.
Yeah, I saw you were. I think you were with PJ Thompson the other day, weren't you?
Yeah, that's actually one of my, grew up with him, played with him on AAU, played against him. That's one of my longtime friends. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I love PJ. Obviously, he's a Purdue guy.
Yeah.
I've had him on the podcast. He's super dope.
Yeah, he's a dope man. That's my guy for life, man, for sure.
I think he's sticking around with Purdue. I don't know if he said anything. I don't think it's out there, but the rumors were coming in that
Yeah, maybe so. I don't want to give out his business or nothing, but he's a great, as he was a great floor leader type guy. So the whole coaching route that he's going fits him so well. And, he even got in and played with us a little bit the other day. He can still play a little bit, they owe PJ, but, we got a couple wins, but always love to see him, man. And, he's done a lot for, Purdue and a lot of stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, within that group, it's a ton of just Indiana guys. So how nice is it to, when you're at home, you have a group of guys that, I mean, they know the culture of basketball here and they want to get better. How nice is that to have that little safe haven to go to?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, Indiana's a little bit different. People, everyone loves basketball here. They want to be good at it. They want to play. And, a lot of guys are hungry to get better. That's my main thing right now is when I'm in the gym, I'm just trying to push these younger guys to understand that what you got to really do to play at that next level. So, excuse me, but so that's what I do every day. But it's good to see, other Indiana players, growing up in the same areas and, same opportunities. So it's I love it. I love taking pride in being from Indiana. I'm from Kokomo. I live up here in Carmel right now, but I still rep Kokomo. So but I love it, man. It makes me better. They push me and I push them. So.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, from just outside looking in, I don't know if many other people would think it's cool, but I think it's super cool to have all these guys from Ball State. The kid from Laveria, I think it's his name.
Yeah.
From Indiana State, like PJ. I think it's super cool that all you guys get together and can hoop a little bit and get better.
Yeah, we actually, we're gonna have more people. We a lot of people are still coming back from overseas, and when they finish up, you'll see just how many more pro Indiana guys there is out there. And a lot of people don't understand that there's so many great basketball players that are kind of flying under the radar that are from Indiana, born and raised. And I think we all take pride in the summer pushing each other to get better. I know I do because they make me better. So. I love it. Like you said, I think it is cool. It's dope, just to be around an environment and be around guys that, are from your area. But I like when other people come in because, we get to show them how we play and how we get down. So it's good.
And you mentioned you were from Kokomo. While I was doing a little bit of research, I mean, you guys were so good when you won sectionals 4 straight years in a row.
Yeah. Never lost a sectional game.
Yeah. Never lost a sectional game. I mean, how special were those runs?
It gives me chills thinking about it. My freshman year, we went to state and lost to Bloomington South. And then the next 3 years, we lose to the state champion. I lost to Carmel back-to-back years and then lost to Homestead and all that stuff. So it was amazing. It was hard to do it. Our sectional at that time, people would say, hey, it was a little bit weaker, but hey, it's hard to do 4 in a row. I don't care what you say. So I loved it. We had a great environment. And Memorial Gym in Kokomo, we used to, get that place rocking, and it's been good. It's been good to me. I've been able to get back there and watch some Kokomo Bobcat games. I don't know if you heard about it's got like a new TBL league, and it's like a pro league, and they got professional teams all over. It's like trying to, give a different, professional outlet for guys that are trying to, go play and, eventually probably go overseas or something. So. It's been they've been having some fun games there, and it just brought me back to how great those runs were, and it was just never lost, man. So I can't, I don't know what it's like to lose in those times.
I thought I saw something about that maybe a few weeks ago when Gino's playing in it, and
he's playing on the Bobcats team, yeah.
And then Tayler, I think, is in it too.
He is. They used to play at Purdue, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm gonna have to go out there and catch a couple games.
Yeah, you honestly should. Kokomo honestly probably has the best like environment right now because they love basketball in Kokomo, and they gravitated to the team and they play good, and it's good basketball to watch. So it's been fun.
Were any of those runs most special to you? I know you're the freshman year you got to stay.
I would say freshman year was, obviously, but my senior year, I came back. I tore my ACL the second game in football, and I came back and played in 4 months, which people thought I was crazy, and I might have been a little crazy, who knows? But shout out to my trainers, my rehab, all my people, but they pushed me. But we beat my buddy James Blackman in like the sectional semifinal, and it was just sold out. It was like the most packed game. And it was at home, and they beat us by 30 in a year, and then we came back, and I didn't play, and then that honestly was the more special run because like I came back to prove something that like I could still play, and and we ended up winning, and then we lost to Caleb Swan again in the first round of regionals, which I don't know too many people that could guard him in college. Too many people definitely couldn't guard him in high school. So it was good, man. But that run was special because we beat the team that was favored and all that. So and it was my buddy, me and James Blackman go way back, just like PJ Thompson, and I love to beat him because I got the little bragging rights on him. He couldn't stop me. So
I mean, when you guys were in high school, I remember watching Gary Harris when I was in sixth grade. Okay, he was ridiculous. And then they had Zach Irvin on that team too.
You went to Noblesville, so when he hit the game-winning shot, he ran around the whole. Yeah,
I was there because that was when Ronnie was committed to Purdue.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Harris was the best high school player I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure, he's up there.
I saw Kyle Guy one time. He played at Noblesville, but I mean, when you guys, the people that are super talented like you, and I mean, you mentioned James Blackman and Biggie, do you guys just know that you're going to take over every game?
I mean, I mean, if you ever talk to anybody and mention my name, they probably would say, yeah. Because confidence is probably the best thing about me, my personality and on the court. Like, I feel like I'm always going to win. Like, I don't care about, missing a shot or what people are going to think about me. I just kind of zone in. I think the elite players that I've ever played with, they all, they just kind of lock in. They don't care. These guys are super, the guys we mentioned are big, athletic, skilled, and all this stuff. And as I'm getting there now, I'm getting way more skilled than I used to be. But back then, I used to be sheer trying to win, just, all that. So definitely, I always thought I was going to win. I wasn't scared of no moment. Might have been some games in college where, damn, we playing against, these teams. But, if you go into a game thinking you're going to lose, to me, you already lost. There's no – why play the game if you think you're going to lose? I'm not, I'm not out here, we play the same game, so I've always loved the competition aspect of, even being in Indiana playing. And then that's probably my biggest thing about what's made me so successful so far is how competitive I am. And I always thought I was going to win. So yeah, I think so. You take over and win it. You got to.
Especially at that level.
You have to, especially, man, what are they going to do, so.
Yeah. I could only imagine you playing in high school, but so my boss is originally from Kokomo. His name's Travis Miller.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man.
So he was, when I told him that you were coming on the podcast, he was like, you need to ask him about the torn ACL because you tore it in 2013.
Yeah,
like August, September-ish, and then you ended up coming back in February.
Actually, the day before my birthday, August 30th. I remember it like yesterday.
Yeah. So I mean, you came back in 4 months. What was that process like of just getting back on the court?
Honestly, it was just a mental battle. I got so lucky. My doctor was actually my coach's, brother-in-law, and he did a great job. But I can say it now. I'm out of high school and stuff. They let me miss a lot of school, to be honest. I went to rehab all the time. They let me go in the pool. Shout out to Kokomo, you know what I'm saying? But I literally just grinded every single day, hours on hours, the most I could, rested when I could, I think I did everything you could do to get back as quick as I did. And I'll never forget, I'm in Lafayette Jeff. We're playing at Lafayette Jeff. And it's about 3 months, maybe a little after 3 months after my ACL, I just started like doing a little bit of running and stuff. and not too much. And we're at Lafayette Jeff, we're playing, and I'm on the sideline. Obviously, I'm not playing yet. And my doctor comes there because he's like closer to Lafayette, he's from Fort Wayne and stuff. So, he tells me to go in the back gym. You know how big Lafayette Jeff's gym is. They have so many different gyms. So, and he gives me a ball and he like puts me through this workout. And I'm like, he's like, go run as hard as you can and jump off your bad knee. And I'm like, all right. I mean, he's the doctor. What am I supposed to do? No, you don't know what you're talking about. I didn't go to school for this. So I did it. And then after that, he looked at like how I was moving and he said, you're completely healed. Now you just got to get back. And I was at like 3 months, a little after 3 months. So it realistically was super quick. I have my trainer, Rob Comer. He worked at Replay. He's a good friend of mine, but he pushed me and he was, nice with me, and he knew how hard I wanted to work, and it was just a blessing, and it worked out. And then, I ended up being an Indiana All-Star that year, which a lot of people, I didn't play half the season, which is hard to do. In that 2014 class, you look back and see all the talented players that didn't even make it on that team and was on that team. I mean, it's just elite player after elite player. So it was tough, man, but it showed me a lot about how you can push through anything mentally. You can push through physically. Like, you don't know how far your mind can take you, and then your body will follow. So I pushed through it, man. I think I'm tough. I thought I was a little tough, shout out to Kokomo for letting me, work out every day, miss some classes, still graduated college too at that. So,
So, I mean, that was going to lead me to my next point, making the Indiana All-Star team. After that season that you'd been through, what did that mean to you when you finally got the news?
Oh, I remember like it was yesterday. I was in spring break, my senior spring break, and my coach told me if I could beat James Blackman, honestly, this is what he said to me: if I could beat them in that sectional, win the sectional, that he thinks I can make it, because I had great numbers. It was just half the time. So I remember being on spring break and them calling me and just calling my dad and like having a moment with him, because that's what he always wanted for me, is to be an Indiana All-Star kind of. And he wanted me to be an Indiana All-Star in football and basketball, which I had a chance to do that in football too, which I was, I played for 4 years, I played that just as well. So, but it meant a lot to me, but it meant a lot to like call my dad and share that with him, because I know how much it meant to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And is that torn ACL, is that the reason that you kind of stuck with basketball, or was it just because you were better?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I don't know what would have happened if I would have continued that season and more people would have tried to recruit me for football. But my whole life I've always said I love basketball and I liked football. I love to play football, but I like basketball is the only thing in my life that has been a constant that I can do, and it just takes my mind off of other things, and it's just like a safe haven for me. So I really do love the game. I'm true to that. So, but yeah, definitely, my last football play was tearing my ACL. I don't want to play no more.
I mean, like you mentioned, that Indiana All-Star team was absolutely loaded. It was ridiculous. Loaded. I was looking at it earlier. It was you, Trey Lyles, James Blackman Jr., Trayvon Blewett, PJ Thompson, Bryant McIntosh, Tyler Weidman, and then 2 of your teammates at Ball State were on that team as well. I mean, just insane.
To be around those guys and practice with them every day. We had really great practices. I think that was the coolest part about it. And I was just now getting back. Like that was, after my ACL, playing all that. And I played like almost every minute, every game. So I was tired, and it was just good experience before I went to Northern Kentucky for my first year. And, I ended up having, a great year. So it was, it kind of slingshotted me, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And talk about that recruiting process, because I know from what I've seen, your only D1 offer was Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, I signed early because I was I'm a loyalty kind of guy. Like I've been killing dudes that got recruited over me for years, and I always felt under recruited, which I was. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, it's just call it what it is. And I always had that chip, and I wanted to, Northern Kentucky believed in me, and they told me right away that they wanted me to lead their program and all this stuff. And I believed that, and they let me play good. We had a good year. That was only like their third year D1. So they were starting to figure it out. But, you know, I'll just call it like it is. I was under recruited. I signed early and I just felt like I deserved to give them that. And it was a good opportunity for me. And it worked out. You know, I wish I could have, things were different because my coach got fired and I left there after my freshman year and then went to Ball State. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. So it worked out.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, did you carry that chip on your shoulder? Like, was that something that you thought about often? Like if you were playing a guy that was more recruited than you, I guess, or a team that you maybe wanted to go to and then they didn't give you an offer?
I mean, yeah, I would say the only time that I really felt that is playing up against Purdue, to be honest, because I mean, I always felt under recruited, but I was going against anybody anyway. Like I was going to try to kill anybody who I was playing against, regardless if they were the number 2 player in the world or they were a dude that's going to not playing college. Like that's how my mentality was. But when I originally transferred, I had a visit to Purdue, which I think Matt Painter talked about this story, you know, in public. And I was on my official visit and, you know, Purdue, tough school, how I play, just like the right fit, like I thought it was. And, you know, Caleb Swanigan decommitted on my visit. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm a realist. I mean, he told me straight up, you know, I got nothing but respect for him, you know, for how he handled it and everything. Because let's be honest, dude was All-American, you know what I'm saying? So it's he was a game changer for their program. But I felt like I could have been anything. You know, when you feel, you still got to have confidence in yourself. And I'm a realist, but I know how valuable I could have been to any team, you know what I'm saying? And when we played against you my senior year, I thought we could have got you a little bit. Had a good first half, but then Eastern he just sat me down the second half. He said you're going to take a break for this second half. So I mean, it was fun though. But that was probably the only time I wanted to, you know, as much respect I have for Coach Painter and the whole staff over there and the team. You know, a little bit was me like, hey man, you know, you know, he could have worked a little harder for me too, but. You know, that's how it is. You know, that's a business. Everything's a business. You know, you got to learn that early that you got to do what's best. You know, people, coaches and stuff, what players don't realize now is they're trying to feed their family and keep a job and all this stuff. So it worked out, though. I love being at Ball State, and that's where I was meant to be at anyway. So it was great.
Mm-hmm. I remember reading a story where you were compared to Chris Kramer.
Yeah.
For you to come to Purdue, I mean, you would have fit in seamlessly, in my opinion. I'm upset that we didn't get to watch you play in the black and gold. I know it would have been fun. You know, you never know. They always compare me to Chris Kramer. I feel like we're different because he was an elite defender, and I feel like I'm a little bit better on offense than that man. Oh yeah. You know, because you know he played hard no matter what. You know what I'm saying, and I respect that. Mm-hmm. So recently, there's been a lot of talk about the transfer portal and whether it's good or bad. Obviously, you transferred from Northern Kentucky to Ball State. What are your thoughts on the whole transfer portal thing? I know it didn't look the same as when you were. It's a lot different, and you know, it's hard to give a real, you know, good answer about that because it worked out for me. You know, my coach got fired. You know, somebody I committed to and I trusted and all that stuff. And it's not like I didn't like the guy they brought in. It's just when you commit to something, you know, and I transferred. So it worked out for me. I met Coach Whitford, you know, who's like a, you know, big brother, big uncle to me. So, and the whole coaching staff there, I have Coach Grun, Coach Thornton, Coach Peters, who was all there, Crenshaw, just everyone was there, was meant to be in my life and help me out. So to me to say, you know, it wasn't the right decision. It was perfect for me and it worked out for me. And I'm happy I was able to do that. But I mean, let's be honest, we're living in a world now where kids are, you know, trying to do what's best for them. And, you know, you can't really blame them for that. You know, they're trying to look out for themselves and they're trying to, I mean, you're going to figure that out that when you go to the next level, you obviously want to be a team and be loyal and then people are going to like that. But I can't ever fault somebody for wanting to, you know, get a better situation for themselves. I feel like some kids are misguided though. And, you know, will leave a good situation to go chase something at a higher major or a different opportunity that they don't need to anymore. I feel like with today's technology and scouting and all this stuff, you can go to a mid-major, get drafted, go do all this stuff. There's so many different ways. You can go play D2, get drafted. You can go,
mean, you see where people are coming from every day and playing it. And you'll learn as, you know, I've learned as I'm getting older and playing, no matter where you go, there's dudes that can hoop. So, I mean, sometimes it works out for the, you know, dudes, but, you know, I feel like some of the times that these kids are transferring off rip, they're misguided and don't want to push through. But hey, who am I to judge? You know, they're trying to get what's right for them. So I think it works out. I wish I didn't have to sit out a year. There's people that got like 8 years of college right now. I don't even know what's going on. I'm seeing people playing 7 years and stuff. So it's just a crazy time right now. I think NCAA is obviously with, you know, the COVID and everything they're trying, but I mean, who knows what the best choices, you know, decisions are. So, but best of luck to whoever does it, you know, hopefully, you know, we just lost at Ball State, Jerron Coleman, you know, he's going to Missouri now. And, you know, I wish he would have stayed, you know, I think he could have led them somewhere, but hey, you know, congrats to him, but that's just how it is, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I think Jalen Coleman lands. This is going to be his 7th year, and he graduated in 15, a year after you.
Yeah, I played with him, and he played with like me and PJ back on Indy Ice. We had like 2 teams. He played on the other team. It's just crazy, man. I'm about to be 3 years professional player. I mean, playing professional, and he's, you know, a year after me, and he's still in college. It's just crazy the dynamic of how you can play. But hey, do it. College was fun, and you know, it's high level basketball. You know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and then as far as the mid majors, you look at someone like Ja Morant, who went to Murray State. I mean, he is kind of like a different.
I don't know if we could talk about Ja Morant. He's a different animal. He's a beast. Yeah, I don't know. There's not too many Ja Morants around there.
Yeah, that sounded a lot better in my head. But
I mean, look.
So, I mean,
it's true though. It's mid-major. I mean, it's true though. It's still a true point. So I mean, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, so when you did transfer from North Kentucky, was it Ball State and Purdue were your only 2 options? Or I know you were going to go on a visit to Xavier, but what other schools were in the mix?
I mean, I had probably, you know, 50 or so schools reach out. You know, I like Xavier because I was in Northern Kentucky, so it was easier for me to go over there and, you know, be around the guys and talk. And I knew Trayvon Blewett well. I would say it was between, you know, Purdue, Ball State, you know, Xavier. You know, I was going to go on a visit, but it didn't end up like panning out. And then when I went on my visit to Ball State, those were kind of the 3 that I narrowed it down to. So I didn't really want to go super far away, to be honest. You know, my family was important to me. I didn't want to be right at home. I was only an hour away, which, you know, it was perfect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They come to all my games. And I know it would have hurt my dad and my grandparents to not be able to come see a lot of my games throughout my life because they've watched everything. So, but looking back, I wish I'd have took, you know, a couple more visits, you know, just to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But Ball State, I knew when I got there what I needed to get better at, and they made it a point to tell me that they would let me, you know, work on my shot and do these things. And my coach at Ball State, Coach Whitford, you know, I love him to death. He taught me how to be a pro before I became a pro, just the way to treat the game, your body. And I might have been hard-headed a lot as a, you know, young college kid and not heard him on a lot of that. But I retained a lot of it when I went my first year, and I felt like I was a step ahead of a lot of guys that didn't have that same mentorship that he was giving us. And I really took advantage of that. And I feel like that's why I'm, you know, I'm good, but I feel like I'm successful because of, you know, that.
Mm. And what in particular sold you on Ball State?
He made it feel like a high major program with what he was bringing in. I was the first team that got to play in our new practice facility, which it took way too long. You know how these projects take, supposed to be 2 years. They sell you on 2 years and you get you in your 4th year. So, I mean, it was good to be there. Their player development is really strong there. He knows what he's talking about, and he lives and breathes the game. And I mean, as a coach, that's what you want. You want a dude that he's not telling me he's the best coach in the world, but he's trying to be. And I know I'm not the best player in the world, but I'm trying to be too. So, I mean, it just was a perfect fit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and then once you got there, things kind of took off for you. You had a great career. Only guy in Ball State history to score 1,500 and have 400 assists, and you did it in only 3 seasons.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, and then you were obviously all MAC all 3 years. what are some of the most memorable moments from those 3 years?
I would say obviously, looking back, it was these relationships I built, but my junior year, it's hard not to talk about, hitting all them game winners and stuff. And I kind of looking back, it kind of is like a blur to me, but I hit them back-to-back games and like, and how I did it in that little time frame, I was like, dang, I don't think I've seen too many people do that before, if I'm being honest. But I felt like, to all my Ball State fans that even check this out, whatever, I felt like I left something on the table. I really wanted to bring a championship back there because they know how I was there. I love the fans. They love me. I embraced that. It's Kokomo's like Muncie to me, hard working town, you know what I'm saying? So blue collar. And I felt like I really felt bad that I couldn't bring home a championship. But the MAC back then was no joke at all. I mean, people don't realize how good MAC basketball is and how hard it is to win a championship or even games on the road in the MAC. But I would say probably my junior year. My senior year was definitely the toughest for us because we struggled. We played good at the beginning, and then we kind of struggled with everything. But it was fun. My sophomore year, I played with one of my best friends to this day, Ryan Weber, and that was great to be there on that team and so many guys. So I think it was just being there. I just really wish we could have got a championship, and that would have made everything perfect, or at least get to the game because I know what would happen if we got there. So,
How do you think that you progressed as a player just in those 3 years? I mean, 4 years technically, but
yeah, I mean, I think. When I got to Ball State, I was bigger guard, always posting up, kind of like using my body. And then I think throughout the years, I got more skilled. I worked on, my skill aspect, Coach Witt, like I said, and the coaching staff did a great job with skill development for me. And I feel like these last 2 summers in my game, I've took the biggest, leaps, which is just like, I know how much more better I can get. And it's just like, there's always stuff you can work on. So, I had opportunities to talk with like Kevin Durant before, like through Athletes in Action. He just was like saying that he works on a move that he feels, and that's Kevin Durant going in the gym and working. He said he will work on the same move over and over again until he feels right in his hand. So I'm like, this is Kevin Durant, talking to me like this. like, like, come on, his game is tight. It is one of the best in the world. So it's just like, you can always get better. And I think that's what separates good to great players, or good, okay to good players. As high as your ceiling can take you, I feel like you can keep pushing the boundaries, and that's what I'm doing right now. I feel like my game's really expanding and getting better, so just got to keep grinding, man. I am only 25. I got a lot left in me, hopefully. So if God lets me.
Mm-hmm. And going back to those game winners. Obviously, the most notable one was probably against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And being ninth in the country. After you hit your first one, like when you're in those situations, does a basket just feel bigger?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if the basket feel bigger, but in my brain, it feels something feels. I have to. I don't know. I feel like it's a different zone that I feel like when people hit these shots. I feel like you're so locked in at the moment, kind of just like, it's like hard to like remember it exactly. Cause I just was like, hey, I'm going to shoot this thing. If I miss it, hey, it is what it is at that point, I don't care, it's my team, I'm trying to be on my shoulders. But yeah, after I hit the second one, I was like, hey man, I might just keep shooting these pull up, a couple of them were bad shots, so it was, my teammates trusted me, and I had all confidence in the world. So just I feel like you just lock in and get into a different zone. You know what I'm saying? At those end of the games for those clutch players that want that moment.
Mm-hmm. And even though I'm a Purdue guy, like I always root for Ball State, Butler, IUPUI, IPFW. The only 2 schools I don't root for are Notre Dame and IU. Just because I'm.
If you was about to say IU, I'd be like, I don't know if you're a real Purdue fan, or if you're even why you're wearing that shirt. Who you work for? I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, I mean, when you hit that shot against Notre Dame, I was going nuts because we were watching it. I mean, was the coming out of the huddle when you had the ball in your hands? Did you just know that you were going to pull up and take the shot?
Yeah, no question. I think everybody, there was probably, I'd say over 100, 150 Ball State fans. And I bet you if you ask every one of them who's going to shoot it, they'd probably say me. They knew what was going on. You know, I had a feeling in my head. It's weird, like thinking about it now. But when Farrell hit that shot to tie it up, I was like, I just remember shaking my head going down the court, like, you know, I'm about to shoot this. If I make it, it's gonna be crazy. But I mean, if I don't, we'll go to overtime. We've been playing good. So, and I just remember I kind of knew where my dad was at, and like me and my dad have this bond where he's been at every game, and yeah, he knew. He told me, he said he knew as soon as I got the ball, I was gonna make it. And I kind of felt that, to be honest. And I mean, it is what it is. You can believe it or not, but I mean, that's how it kind of works. But the next game is what was crazy, hitting against Valpo, because it was back-to-back games, and that was in front of our home fans, and we were losing. So if I missed that, I was going to look like they were going to be mad at me. So
No, I don't think they'd be mad at you after the Notre Dame game.
I didn't hit it.
Would have got off the hook.
I guess we'll never have to know, though, because it didn't happen.
So I'm gonna have to wrap things up, but
Yes, perfect.
I just wanted to ask, who are a couple of the best players that you played against at any level?
Best players I played against at any level? I mean, there's like open. You talking about a real game, or you talking like a real game?
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell, and best player I've ever played against, and was like, that's Trae Young at Oklahoma. Playing against him, I was like, yeah, this dude's probably the best player I've ever played against, because he was so sick with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then my freshman year, listen to this, first collegiate game was against Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, the year that they won a championship. And that was my first collegiate game, and I'll never forget the ball. Like, I didn't get back on D, and it just goes over my head, and Frank Kaminsky just slams it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, these dudes are for real. And Sam Decker's like a 6'9" guard. So probably those guys. And, you know, obviously I have like Trey Lyles that I played with, James Blackman, Trayvon Blewett, Keelan Martin. I would say he's up there too, because I got to bring him up because it just opened gym, because I had never played him in college or nothing, but he's up there too. So
Keelan's a dog.
Yeah, he's a big dog. That's my dog. Yeah. You know, all of them are. So it's been good.
Is there like one or two guys you could pick out as probably the most talented that you ever played with? Like on the same team, not open gym.
Most talented players I ever played with, Jaquan Lyle.
Oh, I remember him.
He's still good. Trey Lyles, James Blackman, Trayvon Blewett, they're all tied.
Mm-hmm.
They're the most talented by far, and the best that I've ever played with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All in your class, all.
Yeah. I mean, all great players, you know. Bryant McIntosh, and he was sick. He is, you know, a great friend, so he was great too.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go. I mean, thank you so much for coming on. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, so it's nice to sit down virtually.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And talk.
Yeah, man. Thank you for everything, and you know, everybody check out his podcast whenever I've been checking you out, and you do great jobs. Thanks for allowing me to come talk a little bit, and if you ever need me to come spice things up a little bit, I will. So I appreciate it.
All right, man. Sounds good. Take care.
Yeah, you too, brother. Bye-bye.